Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, wherever you may be from. I'm the Casual Spaceman, and welcome to my channel once again. I wonder if I could have maybe an audio check. Can you all hear me okay? Everything okay? Everything looks all good from my end for a change. Audio looks fine as far as I know. Good. Yeah. Confirmed. Excellent. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much for coming on the channel, and welcome to this stream for this record-breaking or somewhat historic launch of a Falcon 9 for the Starlink system. This is designated Starlink1. There was a launch of the Starlink systems a few months ago, satellites as well, sorry, a few months ago, as we know, but that was a test launch. But this is now the official first batch of the Starlink satellites. For those of you who don't know what Starlink is, it is SpaceX's answer to providing low latency, high speed broadband to pretty much every corner of the Earth. So wherever you may be from. So eventually when it's up and running, everybody on the planet will have access to high-speed broadband. So that's the aim. There's going to be several thousand, well, within the next year, at least somewhere in the region of 12 or 1,300 of these things going to be launched. It's somewhat controversial within the circles that I move in. Because there's an awful lot of satellites up there already, an awful lot of space junk, and things are getting a little bit difficult when it comes to launches and all those sort of things as well. And astronomers are a little bit up in arms about it, but you know, this is progress. The good thing about these satellites is when they come to the end of their natural lives, they can deorbit themselves. They've got their own little propulsion system on board, and when they're launched, they actually get themselves into orbit once they all separate. So they are deploying a stack of 60 of these satellites. They're all going to be launched all in one go. When they're not launched, once they get up into orbit, they're just released and they separate themselves. And once they're well separated, they then go off automatically to their designated orbits. So, as I said, this is a Falcon 9 launch. And the reason why it's record-breaking is this particular Falcon 9, the first stage, is the 4th time of being used. So this would be the 4th time we're using it. So that's a record for SpaceX, and I think it's a record for anybody, as far as I know. And also, another record-breaking part of this is that the fairing, for those of you who don't know what the fairing is, it's the pointy bit at the top of the rocket, okay, is also been used before. Once for the Falcon Heavy launch. They managed to capture by a special boat in the Atlantic and managed to catch one half of it before it entered the sea, and the other half went into the sea and they refurbishment, and now they're actually reusing the fairing for this launch. This is also the heaviest load so far for Falcon 9 as well. So a few records being broken on this particular launch. So there we are. So anyway, so let's have a look at the chat. Who have we got in the chat? Let me just check a couple of things here where we are with things. We're okay, we're good. Got a few more minutes, and I will hand over to SpaceX. And what I'm going to do is you're going to see a little mini me in the corner, left-hand corner or right-hand corner or top left. I'm not sure which. Depends on where SpaceX graphics go. So I'll place myself. So going right for the bottom, Kiri Mac. Kiri's in the chat. Hello, how are you? Cliff Burnham, hi. Tony Designs, Boggs, he's from the UK. Yeah, I'm from the UK as well. Pip, Peter Harrington, how you doing? Tony Designs, already mentioned. Phil Blacker, thanks for coming, Phil. Appreciate it. Good to see you. 9 o'clock Hero, Earthrise, how you doing? Who else have we got? Tony Designs. Yeah, I think that's all we have at the moment. Thank you very much for coming, guys. Much appreciated for supporting my channel and this launch. And also another thing I nearly forgot to mention is we have Brainy Beaver is mirror streaming this this stream at the moment. So everybody that's watching from Brainy Beaver's channel, you're welcome. Thanks for coming, and thank you, Brainy Beaver. I shall put the link to Brainy Beaver's channel in the description when I get a chance. I forgot to do that earlier on, so apologies, Brainy. But you're all very welcome. Thank you very, very much for streaming this video. it's good to see somebody else actually within our community to doing this kind of thing as well. So yeah, let's spread the word of the stuff that's going on with these launches. So without further ado, right, what I'm doing is I'm just going to set up a few things, and we shall hand over to SpaceX because we're getting closer to launch, I think. Yeah, that's all right. We've got a few more minutes at the moment. We're okay. We're all good. So far, we are go for launch. I made a few checks about, well, at about 10 past, I think about 5 or 10 past, there was a tweet from SpaceX to say everything was all go. So we were good then, but I'm just going to make a few other checks to see if there's no other reports coming up and if there are any delays. Yeah, still 49 minutes ago, all systems are go for this morning's launch, or wherever you are this afternoon or this evening. So, yeah, we're still go. So, let me just get a few things set up, and I will hand over to SpaceX. But as I said, I'm going to keep my mic on, and then I'll answer any questions or comments or anything anybody's got as we go along, and maybe just explain a few things that are not enough familiar with rocket launches or what they are, or what the different bits and pieces mean, and maybe I'll explain those as we go along if you wish. So let me just get a few things set up here. And can you still hear me? Still hear me all right in the chat? We're on this screen, I hope. Just let me know in the chat if you could. Everything looks good from my end. There's no audio coming from SpaceX at the moment anyway, apart from a faint noise in the background. Pip says, yep, audio good, good. So, as we say, pointy side is up and the flamey side is down, which is always a good sign for a launch. Oh, Kristen Frost is in the chat. Hi, how are you? Oh, we can commence now. Kristen is here. Everything's good. S2000 GT. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Hope everything's well with you. Thanks for coming away from the Blue Marble Science debate with Travis. Watch a rocket. Why not, eh? You can always go back, because I reckon that debate's going to go on for a while, I reckon. How's it sounding so far? They staying nice and calm, having a nice little calm discussion. Hasn't turned into a dumpster fire yet. $15. Here we go. Here we go. And there it is. I don't think you're getting the audio through from the SpaceX, are you, for some reason? There it is. You're getting the audio through from the SpaceX.
We are T plus 55 seconds into launch, and we've had a on-time liftoff and a beautiful view of the Falcon 9 vehicle making its way to orbit. We are coming up in about 10 seconds here on max Q. That is the maximum aerodynamic pressure that the vehicle will see during ascent. We should be able to hear that call out.
Vehicles experiencing maximum aerodynamic pressure.
And there's that call out for max Q. Coming up next is a rapid succession of events, starting off with main engine cutoff, or what we call MECO, followed immediately by stage separation. That's the separation of the first stage from the second stage. And then seconds after will be the lighting of our second stage engine, which we call second engine startup, or SES1. That is coming up here in about 45 seconds.
And back engine chill.
And we've got a great view this morning with some pretty clear blue skies, the Earth in the background. And if you're just now joining us, we are 30 seconds away from main engine cutoff, stage separation, and SES1.
Here we go, coming up to first stage cutoff.
See on your screen, you should be able to see the stages
and separation.
About 10 seconds here.
MECO. Stage separation.
Manage cutoff. Separation.
There, as you saw on your left screen, we had MECO and stage separation. On your right screen, we should see that second engine startup. And there's that second stage engine glowing bright red.
There it is. Okay, so now we're
next in about 30 seconds is fairing deployment. Now a reminder, this fairing is being flown for a second time, which is the first in SpaceX history. What you can see on your screen, on the left screen, those grid fins have been deployed.
So what you see on the left-hand side of your screen is the first stage.
And
there's the fairing separation.
Deployment. This is the first reflight of our fairing, so such an exciting mission this morning already.
So you saw a glimpse of the stack of Starlink satellites. So on the left-hand side, that's the first stage. That is now coming in to land on a barge.
As the second stage continues to orbit with those
Hopefully
60 Starlink satellites on top, stage 1 is making its way home for the 4th time. Now, stage 1 is going to execute 2 burns before hopefully it's standing there on our drone ship. The first one will be the entry burn, which occurs at about T plus 6 minutes and 23 seconds, so a little over 2 minutes from now. That's where we're going to relight 3 of those Merlin engines and slow the vehicle down such that it can safely re-enter the atmosphere. From there, the booster will coast for just under a minute and a half, and then execute what is called the landing burn. That is where we're going to reignite a single engine, that E9 engine right in the middle of the booster, slowing the vehicle down to 0 velocity, hopefully standing right there up on the drone ship. Meanwhile, stage 2 continues to fly nominally. We're hearing that MVAC-D power is nominal. It continues at full power. Stage 2 pressures.
Hi, Globus.
Nominal as well.
Good to see it.
Second stage are on a nominal trajectory.
All looking good so far.
Just over a minute away from that entry burn. Meanwhile, stage 1.
So the entry burn coming up basically is to do two things. A, to slow it down. This is for the first stage it's coming in to reland. And also, secondly, the exhaust from the first stage kind of creates almost like a heat shield as it's coming in. So you'll see that shortly.
That MVAC engine is powering that second stage of those satellites with 250,000 pounds of thrust. Okay, we're coming up in about 20 seconds on that entry burn. You should be able to see that on the left side of your screen.
Entry burn 20 seconds. If you look on the left-hand side.
Continues to burn nominally.
Stage 1 FTS is saved. Stage 1 entry burn.
As you see that,
There you goes. That's the first stage entry burn happening now on the left-hand side of your screen. And you see the grid fins. They, for when they get into the Earth atmosphere, they can actually steer it a little bit better towards the landing pad, landing ship.
As you just heard,
There you go.
we had a successful shutdown of that entry burn. So for about another minute and a half, stage 1 is going to coast, making its way down to the drone ship. And at
First
T+,
and second stage continue to follow a nominal trajectory.
and in just under a minute, that landing burn should start. And in just under a minute, that landing burn should...
Stage 1 transonic.
And there you'll see the second stage still burning to get into orbit.
Everything continues to be nominal on stage 2.
So what you're going to see when the satellites are released,
10 seconds, that
they're,
landing burn should start.
they're all going to see, you're going to see the satellites all be released all at the same time in one stack, and they'll separate themselves.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Okay, we've got the landing bird starting up. Hopefully we'll see that in a second.
But that landing burn has started.
Second stage is enter terminal guidance. Stage 1 landing leg deployed.
SpaceX not showing that entry burn.
Video on the way down. Oh,
Oh, here he goes. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Land, land.
Wow.
Yes!
The Falcon has landed for the 4th time.
Great stuff. Great landing. Get in.
Boosters are designed to be used 10 times. Let's turn it around for a 5th, guys.
There it is.
Wow.
Standing tall and proud. Pointy side up. Flamey end down.
Stage 2, I believe, we have
Great landing.
had Seco 1. We're going to enter a coast phase. Before we do that, we're going to take a quick break. Sorry, it's very exciting over here. And, as we leave, we're going to have an animation that shows you where we are in the coast phase. But we're going to be back here at T plus 44 minutes. All right, we'll be back at T plus 44 minutes for a second stage relight. followed up by payload deploy. So come on back.
So there it is, guys. That was the launch successful and landing of the first stage successful also. So that's the fourth time that this, so this is the fourth time that particular first stage has re-landed, and hopefully will be reused for the second time with any luck. So great success. So we'll keep the stream going until we see the satellites deployed. So as I said before, what you're going to see later on is all the satellites, they're not all bolted together. They're not going to be released one by one. They're going to be released all in one stack. And then what will happen is they'll just naturally separate, as I was explaining earlier on. And then when there's enough separation between the two of them, a signal will be sent to them, and then they'll start going into their respective orbits. So as we see on the graphic on the screen, this is just an illustration as to the track of the orbit they're in at the moment. So all looking good so far. All perfect. Coronal mass ejection again. Digital demonic, thank you very much. Can't help it, I get excited. What can I say? So, Tommy, could you hear the audio from SpaceX okay? Was that all right, was it? At first, it didn't seem to be coming through, but then I don't know what it did, but it... Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Imapuna said, does this mean we will be able to see the sats like last time? If you mean will you be able to actually see them deploy when they come off the second stage, yes, you will. Yes, you will see them. Yeah, SpaceX always show them, so yeah, you're going to see them happen. As we saw the fairing come off there earlier on as well, so yeah. I'm just speaking to Brainy Beaver, as we know, is also streaming this as well from my channel, which is great. I'm just speaking to him, so I might be coming over to him just to have a quick chat before the satellites are deployed. So I'll just reply to him, see what he's saying. So we will, we'll see the satellites deployed. Like I said, SpaceX said then are in about 40 minutes or so. Oh, I'm a P. I see what you mean. Will you be able to actually see them from Earth? Possibly. I'm not really too sure. There was some issues. There was a lot of complaints from various people the last time when they launched their the test Starlink satellites. And you could actually see them quite clearly going across the sky. As I understand it, SpaceX have done some things to actually limit that. So I'm not entirely sure, but most likely, I'm a peanut. You probably might see them initially from Earth, certainly. But I can't be certain about that. Oh, thank you, Christine. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Well, Global Shirts are glad you got back from work in time. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Brainy Beaver, I've sent you a message on Discord. So yeah, I can certainly, yes, most definitely, if you like. I can mute myself here because I'm not going to be needed for a little while, so I can certainly do that, Brainy, no problem. As long as I come back in about 20 minutes or so. Okay, let's have a look. Oops, all the wrong things open. Okay, guys. Well, I'm just going to mute myself for the time being. I'm going to go and have a chat with Brainy, and I should be back before they deploy the Starlink satellites, hopefully. Okay, I'll see you soon.
Is SES-2 in about 20 seconds from now. And this will be the shortest SES we've ever had, lasting just about 1 second. It's a short burn because the deployment for these satellites isn't much different than our initial parking orbit. We just need a quick burn to get us there.
Okay. So yeah, here comes to the second burn. That's going to basically circularize the orbit.
And second engine cutoff is complete.
Oh, that was very quick. Okay, they just went.
And there is
Yep.
the confirmation of good orbit.
Yep, good orbit basically means they've got a good orbit for this satellite deployment.
15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
We will be back around T plus 1 hour for the exciting payload deployment for Starlink satellite.
Okay, so they're going to go back to this map for a little while, for another 15 minutes. So at T plus 60 minutes, they will deploy the satellites. And that's actually quite good. It's quite a cool thing to watch. So let's just turn this music down a little bit. Let's keep the music on. Why not? Well, no, actually, no. I don't want to get done for. I don't want to get a copyright thing against me for it. So let's turn that off for the moment. So, who we got still in the chat? We got still people in the chat here. Let's have a look. Who do we have in the chat? So we have got Pip still here. Host banded us for 10 minutes though. Yeah, I know. I A-banded you. How can the casual spaceman be in space like that without a spacesuit? Space debunked. Okay, yeah. I know. What can you do? Like, what can you do? I hate being A-banded. Abandonment. Yeah, but the thing is, it was just when James Truth has said it was just A-banded, wasn't it? I was A-banded in Utah. Was it Utah? Somewhere like that. Yes, there's only a graphic at the moment, Pip, because they've just done a short burn, which is to circularize the burn that they have to get them in the right orbit to deploy the satellites. And at T plus 60 minutes, we're going to see the satellites deploy, which would be quite cool. And you'll all see, it looks like they're sending it off in kind of like one big bulk, all bolted together, but they're not. You'll see them float off, and they'll slowly separate. You might see them start to separate as these float away. So yeah. So how's the debate going with Blue and Travis? How's that looking? People have been flipping backwards and forwards between that, I take it? Where's the curve? You're looking at it, Wolfgang. No, you shouldn't miss it. You stick with me and you should see it shortly, hopefully. All going well, but all's looking good so far. So you're going to see quite a few of these satellites being launched over the coming year or so, and actually quite a few the following year as well. There's literally thousands of those that's going to be deployed over the next few years. Originally, there was supposed to be 2 launch to be planned this month, but Starlink1 was delayed. So we'll probably see 1 this month, possibly 2 next month, but you're certainly going to be seeing at least 2, sometimes even 3, come next year, a month. So yeah, there's going to be quite a few. And also, not forgetting as well, Starship, the Starship Mark 1 is to be tested soon. Probably January now, I should imagine. I can't see it happening in December. They don't look close to being ready just yet, but who knows, it might happen in December, but probably more likely January. What's going to happen with Starship is they're going to do a 20 kilometer hop, really. They're going to launch, go up to 20 kilometers, hover for a bit, and then slowly come back down again and land with this great big shiny Starship. That'll be Mark 1, and then we'll probably see Mark 2 tested perhaps sometime towards the end of the first quarter of 2021, hopefully, with any luck. We'll see that. Okay, so we've got another a little under 10 minutes. Hopefully we shall see the Starlinks deploy. Excuse me for dying. I've still got this cough, can't seem to get rid of. I think I need to go to the doctor, I think. I've had it for a few weeks now, won't go away, it's getting worse. Well, Terry's streaming it, is he? Oh, that's good of him. Thank you, Terry, if you're watching. Appreciate it. Hello, everybody in Terryland. I like the Aussies. I really do. I like our Aussie friends. They're funny. Got a good sense of humour, the Aussies. And Pip has, of course. Pip's funny. The Aussie Perspective, that's the channel. I'll tell you what I'll do. I shall link their channel in the chat for those of you who are interested. It's a good channel, go and watch them sometime. There's some funny guys on there. We just chat a lot of nonsense quite a lot of the time. Sometimes we have serious discussions, but most of the time we don't. Oh, there is the Aussie Perspective. There they are. Oh, the streaming, the Travis debate. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. I thought you meant it was streaming my stream. But anyway, go over to the channel sometime. Subscribe, like and share and all that good stuff. Yeah, your links in the channel. Sorry, their channel is linked in the chat. I meant to say. Boggs, I had one for a month. What did you have, Boggs? Sorry. They're getting sleepy. They've been on 10 hours. Yeah, I know. They do a lot of log streams, don't they, Pip? A lot of streams. I'd like to know what their viewing hours are on that channel. By now, it must be quite a lot. I think they would have probably had the enough to get viewing hours to monetize, but not the subscribers just at the moment. Oh, he's doing both. What, and mine and his? Okay. Oh, your pal Al. Hi. How you doing, your pal Al? How are you? Nice to see you. Our pal Al. You're on the your pal Al. Our pal. Yeah, I'm just sort of keeping an eye on things on the stream here. We're probably getting quite close soon, I should imagine, to deployment of the Starlink satellites, hopefully. Another 5 minutes or so. Yeah, so what we saw, the last event we saw before that was just literally a burn to get them into the right orbit, which is really to circularize the orbit. Well, not necessarily circularize, actually, don't necessarily have to, but get into the right orbit to deploy the satellites. And there's literally just a couple of seconds, that's all it takes. It just goes to show the power of that vacuum engine. Vacuum engine, for those of you who don't know, pretty much what it says on the tin. It's an engine that's designed to work in the vacuum of space. And no, flat earthers, we don't mean a vacuum that sucks. It doesn't suck. Oh, Skyfly went, nice to see you, to see you nice. Is that how he said it? I think Blue is breaking Travis's brain. Has he got him in a tizzy, got him in circles, has he? I'll probably come over to Terry's channel and watch a bit of that soon. That'll be fun when this is all over. I think after we see these satellites deploy, I think SpaceX will probably end their stream anyway, so we'll call it quits there. Still 23 of you watching. Thank you very much for watching. Much appreciated. A few people I haven't seen before. I've never met Boggs before, but you're very welcome. Thanks for coming, Boggs. Boggs, whereabouts in the UK are you? Without giving an exact location, you don't need to dox yourself, but whereabouts roughly in the UK are you? I'm from the south of England, in Hampshire originally, but I live in Northern Ireland now. Won't tell you exactly where, because it's none of your business. Oh, now he's streaming me again, is he? Okay. Hello, Terry World, Aussie Perspective. Thanks for streaming mine. Just stick to Travis, because you can all always come back and watch it again later on. What I probably might do is I might do an edited version of this, I think, just for the key moments. I can edit all out these long pauses between burns and satellite deployments and things. But thanks for doing it anyway. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, should only be a few more minutes until we see Starlink deploy. Oh, you're in Worthing, near Brighton. Yeah, I know where Worthing is. Yeah. Yeah. I used to live in Hampshire, near Southampton. So yeah, I've been to Brighton many, many times. And this is Mrs. Casual Spaceman. I'm going out to get some gas for the meter. We need some gas. We've run out of gas. Did I live in Marchwood, Skyfly, Bri? No, I didn't live in Marchwood. No. I lived in Shirley in Southampton for a while. Definitely not Marchwood. No. And my parents live outside of Southampton. I'm not going to give you the exact location, but not a million miles away from Southampton. In a much posher part, and I lived in Shirley. That definitely isn't posh. But Marchwood, I think, is even less posh, I think, if I remember rightly. Unless I was wrong. Ringwood camping. I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard of Ringwood. And I just want to give Mrs. Casual Spaceman a kiss. See in a bit. Yeah, I know Ringwood. I don't think I've been there a million times, but I know of Ringwood. Yep. Yep. I don't live in Hampshire now, Globalist. I live in Northern Ireland now, in County Armagh. If you want to look that up, again, I'm not going to give you the exact location. That's where I used to live in Hampshire, or Hampshire, as a lot of you Americans like to say, Hampshire. Not anymore. Right. Oh, hang on. We are about to see the deployment.
They might even bump into one another, which, if that happens, is totally okay. The satellites were designed with this possibility in mind.
Okay, so this is a stack, and it's just a clamp that's holding them all together, and then shortly that's going to release.
Video just there, but let's listen in and see if we have any word on the deployment.
Oh, lost video. Oh, don't tell me we're not going to see it.
Release confirmed.
Oh, what?
And as you just heard,
Come on, SpaceX, get your ads together.
the tension rods have been released.
Tension rods have been released.
Some video of that would be really awesome.
Come on. There they go. There you go. So that's just a big stack there, kind of like you can see them. They're kind of starting to separate as they go away.
Off. Next, they'll start to slowly drift apart.
Yep.
And then deploy their singular solar array pointed at the sun to begin charging their batteries.
Yeah, we didn't see as much as I'd like to have done.
Satellites will use their onboard ion propulsion systems to raise their orbit to 550 kilometers, align into their orbital planes, and properly space themselves out to providing internet coverage on Earth. And with that, that brings us to the end of our webcast for today. So to recap, we had a successful fourth launch of a booster and a successful landing of that same booster.
Yeah.
We reflew a fairing successfully for the first time. Both of those things are pretty cool, but also cool, you just saw we deployed 60 more Starlink satellites. This puts us one step closer to being able to offer Starlink internet service to customers across the globe, including people in rural and hard-to-reach places who have struggled for access to high-speed internet.
So there it is. There we go. We didn't get a greater shot as I hoped from the deployment of the satellites, but that was it. The last time we got a much better shot, so sadly there's not a whole lot I could do about that. It seemed that they lost the video right just before they were going to release the tension bars to release them. We didn't see as much as I'd like to, but there it is. That's them satellites. So that's them deployed. Sorry, that's satellites deployed. I can't talk today. So that's another 60 up in deployment. Now, hopefully, we might see another one in a couple of weeks. I'm not really sure, but realistically, I think it's going to be December for the second lot. So I will no doubt be streaming that again. I'm probably going to be doing some sort of cooperation with Brainy Beaver. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work at the moment because he wants to do this kind of thing, which is good. So now, if you haven't done so already, then please hit the subscribe button and tickle that bell as well, and select all, and then you'll be notified when I upload any more videos and start any more streams. And if you can hit the thumbs up before you go, I'd much appreciated. That helps bring people to the chat, and also perhaps later on when the video has been posted properly up on the tubes, that you can go and comment as well, because that also helps to bring people in. So I think that only really leaves me to say thank you very, very, very much for coming and viewing this stream once again, and I hope everything seems to have gone fairly smoothly. I think as far as I'm aware, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. So that's all from me. I'm your host, the Casual Spaceman, signing out.